Hello everyone and welcome to round 3 of the Tuning Village tournament. I don't have anything else to say, so let's get into it. So for this round, we're gonna be doing 3 laps around Infineon Raceway in sports soft tires. Not only that, but there's also a pickup truck that's destined to bonk whoever's in first place in each lap. And whoever finishes last in each race won't make it into the semi-finals. And oh yeah, the eliminated contestants from round 1 are also here as spectators. Anyways, with all that being said, let's begin round 3. So, for the first race, we have Night Drive, D2V, Martso, Serial Killer, and Mavis Morte as a spectator. And off they go. I wish everyone good luck, because they're gonna need it. Right off the bat, Serial Killer tries to overtake Martso, and D2V tries to overtake Night Drive. Serial Killer successfully managed to overtake Martso, and now is trying to catch up to D2V and Night Drive, both of which at the moment are battling for first place against each other. And Serial Killer joins the battle as he managed to catch up pretty much instantly. Meanwhile, poor Martso is screwed for now, as he struggles to catch back up to the others and is slowly getting left in the dust. And even farther back, you can see Mavis Morte doing spectator things. Anyways, currently in first place is Night Drive, which is usually a good thing, but not in this round. And you'll see why in a second. Anyways, Serial Killer is struggling to keep up with D2V and Night Drive, which is quite surprising considering that he has the fastest car here. And as you can see, D2V successfully managed to overtake Night Drive. And Serial Killer also tries to overtake Night Drive but can't because he keeps cog blocking him. Currently in last place is Martso, but things might change in the matter of seconds. D2V gets hit by the truck, flies into Night Drive, causing him to go off track as well. Meanwhile, Serial Killer and Martso keep on driving like nothing happened. As you just saw, D2V got bunked by the truck, and that fact alone caused him to go from first to last in the matter of seconds. As for Night Drive, now you know how it feels, no offense. Anyways, Serial Killer is chilling in first place for now as he makes his way into the second lap. And so does Martso, who's not too far behind in second. But not for long, as D2V and Night Drive might be able to catch up to him soon. As for Serial Killer, he pretty much has a guaranteed first place. Until he doesn't. Anyways, as you can see, D2V overtook Night Drive, leaving him in the elimination position. Plus, getting Night Drive's S2000R1 out of the danger zone is gonna be very hard, but not impossible, as both him and D2V are slowly, but steadily, catching up to Martso. Meanwhile, in the front, Serial Killer is zooming off into the distance, except he isn't, as the truck hits him, allowing the other competitors to catch up to him. And he also smacks into a wall, causing him to lose even more time and allowing Martso to take first place. But not for long, as D2V already managed to catch up to him. Anyways, the fact that Serial Killer got bonked allowed Night Drive to catch up to him. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough to overtake him though. But Night Drive knows that if he tries to catch back up to everyone, he'll just risk getting bonked again. So I guess his strategy is to stay in the back until there's a perfect opportunity to overtake someone. Anyways, in the front, D2V's trying to overtake Martso but can't because he keeps cog blocking him. And that fact alone allowed Serial Killer to catch up to them. And as for Night Drive, I'm not sure if his strategy is even gonna work. But there's still one lap left in the race, so who knows. Meanwhile, in the podium, Serial Killer manages to catch up to Martso and overtakes D2V, who just got bonked again. And that fact alone allowed Night Drive to catch up to D2V. It was super close, but unfortunately for Night Drive, it wasn't enough to overtake him. while in the front, Martso's chilling behind Serial Killer who does not know how to drive. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this race is somewhat chaotic. Anyways, in the back, just like Terra Hawkizard, Night Drive is getting left in the dust due to his acceleration, and D2V is still trying to recover after getting bonked by the truck, which he manages to do very easily as Martso is not in the best car for this. Then on the next corner, Initial D goes too far on the outside, which allowed the Nismo Z-Tune to overtake it. And now he switches his focus to catching up to Serial Killer and taking the first place for himself, which isn't gonna be easy as Serial Killer has one of the fastest cars of the entire tournament. And as you can see in the back, Night Drive successfully managed to catch up to Martso, and now he needs to overtake him to get out of the danger zone. Meanwhile, Serial Killer has a guaranteed victory until he doesn't, as the truck bonks him off the road, causing him to lose a lot of time, allowing everyone, including Night Drive, to overtake him. So I guess Night Drive's strategy did work after all, and I don't think Serial Killer will be able to catch back up in time, which means that D2V, despite getting bonked twice, manages to take the first place and is moving on to the semi-finals alongside Night Drive and Martso. And it looks like Serial Killer's lack of luck ended up being his downfall. For the second race, we have Luca, Ferrari, SVT, Martis, and me as a spectator. Which, given how well these four competed so far, this should be a pretty interesting race actually. Right off the bat, Martis tries to catch up to the others but doesn't seem to be succeeding as of right now. Meanwhile, Ferrari is getting cock-blocked by the spectator, which allowed SVT to overtake him, and now switches his focus to trying to catch up to Luca, who at the moment is just chilling in first place. So far, Luca keeps getting the unfair advantage of starting in first place. And like I said earlier, that is usually a good thing, but not in this round. Meanwhile, in the back, Martis managed to overtake Ferrari due to him getting cock-blocked by me. And now that Ferrari is free from the cock-blocking nightmare, there's gonna be an intense battle for elimination between him and Martis. And there's also an intense battle for first place between Luca and SVT, which Luca seems to be winning as of right now. And the battle only intensifies as they make their way towards the S-bends, or whatever these corners are called. Currently in the elimination position is Ferrari, but things may change after what's about to happen. As the RX-7 makes its way towards this corner, it gets bonked by the truck, flying into the sand trap and almost hitting SVT as a result. And that hit was so bad, even I, a spectator, managed to catch up to Luca. Given the circumstances, anyone could be eliminated in this round. Anyways, Luca getting bonked allowed Ferrari to get out of the danger zone for now, and also allowing SVT to take a huge lead over the others, with no sign of Martis or Ferrari catching up to him anytime soon. I mean, unless he gets bonked, of course. Anyways, given that Luca is using one of the faster cars of the tournament, I highly doubt it's gonna take them that long to recover, which isn't a good thing, especially for Ferrari and his front-wheel drive Celica. I swear, front-wheel drive cars have it so hard in these tournaments. All of that is happening while SVT is in the middle of a time trial session and Martis is just chilling in second place. And as for Luca, I'm surprised they haven't recovered sooner. Meanwhile in the front, like I said earlier, Martis is just chilling in second, and so is SVT in first place. Until he isn't. which is what I would have said if it wasn't for the fact that the truck miscalculated the hit. And because of that, nothing much changed except maybe Martis catching up to SVT a little bit. And Ferrari is still fighting for his life in the back of the grid, as Luca is steadily catching up to him. And honestly, this process of Luca catching up is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. Martis is still chilling in second place, and so is SVT in first. So far, it's either Luca or Ferrari leaving in this race. But things might change. I mean, there's still like one lap remaining, so who knows. Anyways, now that they're on the speed section, Luca is gonna go all out to try to catch up to Ferrari, which Luca manages to do at the end of the speed section. And now Luca tries to overtake Ferrari on the braking zone, but Ferrari isn't gonna let that happen. The rivalry between Ferrari and everything continues as he makes his way towards the third lap. And given the truck is passing by, it means SVT got bonked again. And this time he got sent from a 6-second lead in first all the way down to the elimination position. And trust me when I say, don't underestimate the truck. And that also means that Martis is now in first place. I hope Martis isn't getting too excited, as he might be the truck's next target. Anyways, despite getting hit by the truck, unlike Luca, SVT manages to recover pretty much instantly, as he overtakes Ferrari on this corner and switches his focus into getting his first place back. Meanwhile, poor Ferrari is getting left in the dust back there. Luca's RX-7 overtook Ferrari, and now all it has to do is catch up to Martis, which isn't really gonna be that difficult for it. As for Ferrari, there's not much to say, other than bonking whoever's in first place is his only hope of surviving this round. And if that doesn't help, then it's all over for him. Meanwhile, the battle between SVT and Luca continues as they make their way to the finish line. And in terms of Martis, I think we all know what happens next. Martis makes it through this corner, gets bonked, and whoa! He also knocks Luca off the track, allowing SVT to take first place and allowing Ferrari to take second. But unfortunately for Martis, he wasn't able to recover and overtake Luca in time. And well, I think we all know who's winning this one. But still, Martis' sacrifice won't be in vain. For the third race, we have I Like Cars, Rosie Miranto, Pin, HW Stunt Track Driver, and Apollo as a spectator. Honestly, I'm not sure how this race is gonna go given that there's such a massive spread in performance between these four cars. Pin manages to overtake Rosie Miranto pretty much instantly, and then he tries to overtake Apollo but can't because he keeps cock-blocking him, creating a massive train as a result and allowing I Like Cars to pull away. And in the back you can see HW Stunt Track Driver managed to overtake Rosie Miranto, leaving him in the elimination position. And now HW Stunt Track Driver tries to overtake Pin but ends up getting cock-blocked instead. Meanwhile in the front, I Like Cars is chilling in first place with no sign of anyone else catching up for now, which is what I would have said if it wasn't for the fact that Pin and HW Stunt Track Driver are free from Apollo's cock-blocking, meaning that there might be another Heat 1 situation where one car gets bonked and flies into another. As for Rosie Miranto, I think he took some notes from Night Drive's S2000. Anyways, currently Pin and I Like Cars are having a very intense battle for the lead. But like I said at the beginning, things may change in the matter of seconds. Anyways, here they both go past this corner and the truck missed I Like Cars, causing Pin to get hit by both the truck and the spectator and flying into the sand trap as a result, just like Luca, allowing I Like Cars to take the lead for a bit longer. And if you didn't see it, Pin punted Apollo off the track, which allowed Rosie Miranto to overtake him. Meanwhile in the front, there's an intense battle for first place between HW HW Stunt Track Driver in I Like Cars, which apparently was the shortest battle in history, with HW Stunt Track Driver overtaking I Like Cars and taking the first place for himself. As for I Like Cars, you're lucky that the truck missed you. Anyways, in the back, Rosie Miranto is chilling in third place, while Pin is struggling to recover after getting hit by the truck, and Apollo is just doing spectator things. Anyways, if Pin wants to recover, he needs to overtake Apollo, Rosie Miranto, and catch back up to I Like Cars, who at the moment is just chilling in second place alongside HW Stunt Track Driver, who's in first place. Anyways, Stunt Track Driver makes it past this corner and accepts his fate as he knows what happens next. The truck hits him, allowing I Like Cars to take first place with no sign of anyone catching up to him anytime soon, and allowing the others to catch up to him, with Rosie Miranto taking second and allowing Pin, who's still stuck behind Apollo by the way, to catch up as well. Meanwhile in the back, after getting hit, HW Stunt Track Driver got overtaken by Apollo, but then he overtook him back, while poor Pin is still stuck behind him, as Pin is getting screwed over by how stupid the Gran Turismo 4 AI is. Anyways, at the speed section, Pin successfully manages to catch up to the DeLorean, and now he's trying to overtake it but doesn't seem to be succeeding as of right now, while HW Stunt Track Driver is struggling to catch up to Rosie Miranto, and as for I Like Cars, the truck won't miss you this time. As you can see, I Like Cars gets hit by the truck and gets tossed around for a second like a ping pong ball by the truck and Rosie Miranto. And by the way, Pin managed to successfully overtake Apollo and I Like Cars. And that fact alone allowed Pin to finally get out of the danger zone and managed to catch up to HW Stunt Track Driver, who's getting cock-blocked by Rosie Miranto. While both Pin and HW Stunt Track Driver try to overtake Rosie Miranto, but their AI cars seem to be screwing them over. Both Pin and HW try to overtake him on this corner, but neither of them succeed, as Rosie's cog blocking proves to be effective. I see someone's taking notes from Night Drive. Anyways, Pin tries to overtake Rosie Miranto again on this corner and actually succeeded this time. And then HW tries to catch up to Rosie using the cornering strategy, and that actually worked, allowing him to catch up to Rosie Miranto on this corner and then overtaking him before the braking zone. But it doesn't even matter for Rosie, as I Like Cars is in the danger zone and is like a mile away. Anyways, just like that, Pin manages to regain the lead. And now all Pin can really do is that when he gets bonked, he doesn't get sent all the way down to the danger zone like last time. He makes it past this corner and... I guess the truck was pretty late on that one. Either way, the fact that Pin got bonked allowed HW Stunt Track Driver to take the lead and allowed Rosie Miranto to overtake Pin. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough for I Like Cars to catch up, which means that HW Stunt Track Driver takes the first place and is moving on to the semi-finals, and same goes to Pin in second and Rosie Miranto in third. And just like that, I Like Cars is eliminated. But honestly, he was screwed the second he was the truck's next target. For the fourth race, we have Mad Jester, Fancy Wreck, What Is Love, Julie Canotto, and Thunderstorm Gaming as a spectator. Now I know the fast car is in the front of the grid, but that doesn't really matter for this round. Anyways, despite using the Opera S2000, Julie Canotto is struggling to catch up to the others, while What Is Love managed to overtake Fancy Wreck on this corner. but then Fancy Wreck overtook him back on the next one. Now I'm actually surprised that Fancy Wreck's S2000 is managing to keep up with What Is Love's 600 horsepower Skyline. Either way, on this corner, What Is Love managed to overtake Thunderstorm Gaming due to him going wide. And the same would be true for Fancy Wreck on the next corner, as he manages to overtake Thunderstorm Gaming using the cornering strategy. Meanwhile in the front, Mad Jester is chilling with an easy first place. But don't worry, I'm sure the truck is gonna balance things out. Anyways, it seems like I was wrong about Fancy Wreck overtaking Thunderstorm Gaming, which he manages to do on this corner for real this time, as Julie Canoto is still stuck behind Thunderstorm Gaming. Meanwhile in the front, What Is Love is struggling to catch up to Mad Jester, who zoomed off into the distance. Except he didn't, as the truck bonks him off the road, allowing What Is Love to overtake him and take the first place for himself, and allowing Fancy Wreck, who's just chilling in third place, to catch up as well. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough for Julie Canoto to catch up, as he is still stuck behind Thunderstorm Gaming, but not for long, as he manages to overtake Thunderstorm Gaming on the braking zone and is now trying to catch up to Fancy Wreck, who's just chilling in third place. Mad Jester zooms off into the distance trying to catch up to What Is Love, leaving Fancy Wreck and Julie Canoto to battle for the final safe spot. Meanwhile, What Is Love is just chilling in first place with no sign of anyone catching up to him anytime soon, as he manages to cruise his way into the next round just like always. Of course, unless you get the point. Anyways, Mad Jester is going all out to try to catch up to What Is Love. Meanwhile, Julie Canoto in the back is trying to catch up to Fancy Wreck, but doesn't seem to be succeeding as of right now, as Fancy Wreck isn't willing to give up a spot into the semi-finals. I honestly wasn't expecting this race as a whole to be this intense. Anyways, I know you couldn't see it, but What Is Love got bonked, allowing Mad Jester to overtake him and take the first place, and also allowing Fancy Wreck to overtake him and take the second place, while Julie Canoto fails to overtake once again. And unlike round 1 and 2, this time Julie Canoto doesn't have the comfort of starting in the front of the grid. Anyways, Mad Jester's chilling in first place as Fancy Wreck and What Is Love battle once again, while Julie Canoto is either struggling for real or taking notes from Night Drive. Anyways, what I said about Fancy Wreck keeping up with What Is Love wasn't a lie. And I know you can't see it, but Fancy Wreck is actually managing to keep up with What Is Love on the speed section. Currently in last place is Julie Canoto, but who knows, maybe things will change on the final lap. And we're starting off the final lap great, as Mad Jester gets bonked once again and smacks into a wall, causing him to lose even more time, allowing everyone else to catch up, including Julie Canoto. I mean, it's not by much, but still better than not catching up at all. And it also wasn't quite enough for Fancy Wreck to overtake either, as Mad Jester manages to instantly recover after getting bonked by the truck. Meanwhile, What Is Love is chilling in first place without realizing he's the truck's next target, while Mad Jester is struggling to catch back up to him, probably for the better. Fancy Wreck's just chilling in third place, and Julie Canoto is getting left in the dust. Honestly, seeing this absolute monster of a car losing to an S2000 road car is pretty shocking to see if you ask me. Anyways, in the front you can see that Mad Jester is trying to catch up to What Is Love. I don't know why, since he'll just risk getting bonked again. Either way, here they go onto the speed section and, well, it's official. We can already start typing our prayers in the chat, as everyone, including What Is Love, know exactly what's gonna happen next. The Skyline goes through this corner, gets bonked, allowing Mad Jester to take the first place for good. And it drives into the sand trap while trying to recover, which allowed Fancy Wreck and Julie Kanoto to overtake him. And given that What Is Love's recovery process was even slower than Serial Killer's, I don't think he'll be able to catch back up in time. Which means that Mad Jester ends round 3 with another victory and is moving on to the semi-finals, and so is Fancy Wreck and Julie Kanoto. And just like that, What Is Love gets screwed over by how desperate he was to get another victory. And that's about it for today's episode. With round 3 over, we are down to our 12th semi-finalists. Anyways, if you enjoyed, like the video, and maybe even consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, good luck to the 12 competitors remaining, and I'll see you in the semi-finals.